Snapchat 21 here again. Now, having moved south and a little bit closer to civilization, it's nice to be able to run to a store and get something. It's nice to be able to have access to a variety of things without having to drive 2 hours to get to a Best Buy or a computer card store. But the obsolescence in some of those facilities, and by the obsolescence I mean I'm trying to put together a Plex server, media server, not using Plex, with older parts, not obsolete. I mean, they're getting into the realm of potentially obsolescent, but even so, they're still extremely serviceable parts. Is exceptionally more difficult than the last time I did this. Partly because the last time I did it, I was just fully taking an existing computer out of a case, and this time I'm having to build from scratch a system using older hardware. But I get that there's only so much support aftermarket manufacturers can do. But it is a little bit frustrating when you're trying to find components and there's conflicting information, even in the retail store system, about whether something is possible or not. It makes it more difficult than it needs to be. And I'm not laying this on anyone's feet. It's just an observation of there's so much variety, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong, that it's hard to know what's correct and what's not. And it's harder when manufacturers say that something is compatible. If you buy this, mounting kit or mounting bracket that manufacturer also makes, or wait a minute, no, used to make, because they don't make it anymore. And specifically, I'm looking at you, Noctua, on this particular. You list a bunch of your coolers as compatible with the Intel LGA 20XX series of CPUs. But you list them as compatible with that series of CPUs using the Intel, I forget what you call it, but basically the Intel LGA 20XX series mounting hardware kit that you no longer offer for retail through your official store. And the handful of them that I've found are as much, if not more than, the cooler that I want to mount with that piece of hardware. So, it's difficult to use your stuff, which I would love to use, when I can't get a mounting kit for something you currently produce that will fit where I need it to fit. You can see how this is problematic. And part of it's on me for using older hardware, but you know, I'm trying to do stuff on a budget. I get that not everyone is trying to do stuff like this on a budget. It, you know, it is what it is. I will get it to work, I'll get it to fit. It's going to be a good little server until I have the budget to build the one that I really want. In which case this one will turn into the almost cold storage backup server, which will be good for it. It'll be perfectly adequate for a cold storage server. It'll be perfectly adequate for redundant backups for the main server. I don't have an issue with that. That's perfectly fine. That's, you know, expected behavior. That's, you know, what I want this one to turn into. I want it as a backup server for my tower right now, do a little media serving, you know, do a file storage and cold backups of YouTube stuff so I can free up some hard drive space for active projects on the computer. Because let me tell you, recording in 4K, holy cow, do you go through storage. But that's besides the point. It's, if I can get it to be a YouTube backup and then a primary backup for the main media server and file server, you know, archiving and that sort of stuff, great. That's really what I want it for. That's what it's going to be used for. Just getting the initial build done is proving to be a little more tedious than I want. Partly because some of it's going to be temporary, so I'm not looking to spend a whole lot of money. And partly because I'm on a budget, so I'm not looking to spend a whole lot of money. At some point, eventually, I would love to do a, you know, LTT-esque water-cooled rack. And at such a point, then, you know, I'll fab out, you know, water cooling mounts and, you know, QDs and whatnot for the system, and it'll all be one giant interconnected loop. But for the moment, while I'm having to air cool everything and don't even have a rack to put it in, temporary is the name of the game. And who knows, I may stay, you know, air-cooled indefinitely. Air cooling seems to be the way to go, to some extent, so, you know, we're just gonna rock it. So we will, we'll see what happens on that front. Hopefully I can get this put together. Once I do a final assembly, I will do an assembly video on it. Walk you through, you know, what's going in there and how it's all going together and what the specs be. But for the moment, just accumulating parts. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to the ramble. Hopefully we can get some more content out of this build once we get the build going. But for the moment, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. I will catch you next time. Sharps out.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps me out, and it lets you know when I put something new up. New videos will be going up on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. And if I do decide to do live streams, I will try to give 24 hours notice. So hit the subscribe button on the channel and you'll be notified when I post that stuff too. Hope to see you next time. Sharps out.